Welcome, everyone, to It's a Wrap with Rap. I am your host, Ron Rappaport. Before we start, I would like to thank all our listeners, sponsors, and supporters that have helped to make this podcast so successful. The podcast is being heard in all 50 states, all provinces of Canada, and over 45 countries around the world. The podcast has been ranked by FeedSpot as one of the top 35 overcoming adversity podcasts on the web, from thousands in that category, and is ranked by traffic, social media followers, and content freshness. Please visit the podcast website, itsawrapwithrap.com, for all the episodes and other information regarding the podcast. This podcast features people who have overcome life's challenges and adversities, people who can inspire, motivate, and educate us on an assortment of topics. My guest today is Jean Albaugh. Jean is the founder and CEO of Showering Love, a mobile hygiene bus serving the unhoused population of South Florida with showers, new clothing, personal hygiene products, and medical services. Showering Love was founded by Jean in 2016, following her own 10-year journey of homelessness. Jean has facilitated numerous public discussions about the plight of the homeless and its impact on the family and community at large. Jean's mission through Showering Love is to empower the unhoused with dignity that can ultimately change the trajectory of their lives. She is a notable community leader and advocate. She has served as a keynote speaker and panelist for multiple agencies, universities, and companies. She has received multiple awards, including the My Life, My Choice Award and the Halo Award. Welcome, Jean, to the podcast. So glad to have you.
Thank you so much, Ron, for having me. I am so honored that you asked me to be on your podcast. Thank you.
We're very honored that you could do it, and you have such an inspirational story. Tell us where
you've inspired a lot of people too, because you have a long list of followers. So that says a lot about you and in the content you bring.
Well, thank you so much.
Keep it up. We need you.
I appreciate the kind words. So you have such an inspirational story. Tell us where you grew up and about your childhood years and how you survived it.
Okay, so I'm born and raised in Davie, Florida. My childhood definitely was a really rough childhood for a kid, I guess. You know, I was sexually molested from family members from my earliest memory. And it continued until I was 15. During the time when I was 10, almost going to be 11, my father and mother were arguing, and my mother said she was going to leave my dad, and he took out a gun to try to shoot the tire on her car so she couldn't leave, and the gun misfired, and when he shook it, it went off and went in his brain. He survived it, but was a paraplegic.
Unknown caller.
Sorry, I'm going to turn this off. For the rest of his life. And then when I was 15, my mother was an only child. So her second cousin was like her brother, and he had done 20 years in prison. And I remember her being so excited about him finally coming home.
Sure.
So of course, you're an only child. This is your brother, and she brought him into the home. My mother was born deaf. So one night she always took her hearing aids out at night. And I was in my room and he came in and he kind of shook my foot and said, "Jeannie, I'm cold. Could you get me a blanket?" I'm like, "Sure." Like, well, he had other plans,
Yeah.
and he raped me and then told me if I ever told anyone that he would kill my mom. Um, I did tell my sister, because I ran away. I was not going to stay in that house with
Yeah,
him,
I can understand that. Yeah.
so anyway, I left and, you know, he eventually, was arrested and, he ended up dying in prison. And, so, you go through, how to, from being molested to watching your father shoot himself in the head to being brutally raped, and then at the age of 17 being sex trafficked. How does a kid survive that?
I don't know how you survived, but I'm sure glad you did. And I'm so sorry that you had, to go through all that. Let's forward to your adulthood. You're living in Davie, Florida,
Yeah,
and you're raising your sons.
I
And
have. I marry a
yeah,
very wealthy man,
yeah.
and we got that $1 million home, which is, this was 30 years ago. And I drove a Porsche and he drove a Mercedes, and like, we owned 5 businesses. There was no lack of no lack of needs, right? I mean, we could get anything we really wanted. And my husband would buy me anything. We're still good friends today.
Jean, I
And
understand you were a barrel racer.
I was.
Could you tell our audience what is barrel racing?
I
And,
love it.
and tell us about that time period. And there was a tragic event that befell you, but first start out with what is a barrel racer, and tell us about that time period.
Thank you. Love
Sure.
that question. Yeah. So it's you and your horse. It's a race against the clock. You're not
Yeah.
really racing against competitors. You are racing against that clock. Um, so if anyone's been to a rodeo, you've seen the ladies out there, running about 35, 40 miles an hour as they're running around. It's a cloverleaf pattern that you uh, make as you ride with your horse. And I ended up becoming 9th in the world.
Wow.
Yeah. That I've been riding horses my whole life, and I loved it. It was really, I think, my identity. And so 2 weeks after coming back, um, from winning the national finals, I slipped and I was patronizing a fast food restaurant, and I, I turned from the counter. I had my young son with me, and we had stopped for breakfast. And an employee pulled a mop out, and when I stepped in that water, I like did a split and my back split straight up.
Wow.
Only 1 in a million break their back that way. And of course it had to be me. And so this is where, I get introduced to pain pills.
Well, you're in a
know.
lot of pain. You're in probably chronic pain.
Oh yeah, they I'm still my back hurts me. But I just go through the pain. It'll go away, but then depression set in. Barrel raising was my life.
Yeah.
It was, it's what I was known for, people paid me to train them, to prepare them for, the journey I had went. And, uh, after after I went to the hospital and I saw the doctor, he's like, Jeannie, you won't ever ride again. And I was supposed to go to Vegas in a month and run for the world title.
Wow.
It's
You must have
like,
been devastated. That's devastating news.
like now I feel like kind of choked up still because I worked my whole life for that dream,
Sure.
my whole life. And in an instant, it was taken away.
Yeah, it's just amazing how that can happen in just an instant, some crazy thing where you trip and fall.
Yeah. And then
Did we freeze up? Jeanne, you there?
yeah, I'm here.
I think we froze up.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back. Okay, I can edit it, so it's not a problem, but you were talking about the going to Vegas.
Yeah. So, that was a dream. And since I was a little girl, that was a dream, uh to make it to the national finals, and well, the world finals, really. But it wasn't in the cards because
Yeah.
once the doctor told me I'd never ride again, I just laid in that bed, getting deeper and deeper and deeper into depression. I started to take more pain pills because, see, I didn't like me. I never liked me, and I never wanted to be me. I always wanted to be somebody else my whole life. I never wanted to be me. But when I took the pain pills, yeah, it took away the physical pain,
Yeah.
but it also took away the emotional pain of all those things that I shared that I was keeping a secret. That didn't come out till years later. Um, like I did talk to my mom, about it, but I guess because it happened to my mom, she was like, you got to get over it, and I guess everyone deals with,
Adversity.
the tragedies and the traumas
Yeah.
ways. So I am diagnosed with PTSD, and I'm dyslexic, and I so anyway, the pain pills got more and more, and um and I don't know if anyone knows about addiction, but one's too many and a thousand's never enough.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a
So I
question.
ended up, yeah,
You're going
I
through
ended up homeless.
you're going through this depression. Are you getting any support, from your husband, from your family? Are you getting any support as you
Yeah,
get deeper and deeper into depression? Is somebody trying to help you?
my ex mother-in-law, she saw it and she was vocal about it, and she had already been calling people because she was concerned. She knew
Yeah.
I was getting too skinny, and and I was close with her, so I finally, one day, I met her for lunch, and I told her the truth. I said, I'm in over my head.
Yeah.
I'm a PTA mom, I'm vice president of the rodeo association, so I was somebody,
Yeah.
and I wasn't able to keep up my duties,
Yeah.
uh, and just started falling behind, and then it got to a place where my husband just couldn't take it any longer,
Right.
because I was always um draining our bank accounts. Now, like I said, he's a wealthy man, but when you're spending as much money as I was spending a day, yeah, it was definitely noticeable, and definitely was um affecting our lives, and ended up affecting the partner, because he found out that I took money from the company, and everything spiraled out of control. And my husband came to me one day and said, listen, Jeannie, I love you. I can't save you,
Right.
but I have to save our boys.
Yeah.
He said, I, 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 I got a restraining order. He says, so they're going to be here like in an hour. You need to get whatever it is you're going to take, and then they're going to remove you from the property. I was shocked.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. So that happens, and we jump into a situation where you're living alone, and you're living, as I understand it, under a bridge or a couple bridges.
Mm-hmm.
And this lasted for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Can you describe to us your living condition at that time, and the things you experienced during that time?
So I was a loner on the streets. Of course, I have trust issues at this point, and I don't want anybody near me. I still don't sleep well because I sleep high on alert, just as a military man would be
Yeah.
on alert. So I don't really sleep well ever, and I've tried everything. You know, there was days out there that, and times that I did wake up and say, I'm gonna go get a job today.
All right.
And then I look at myself, with a little makeup mirror I had. I didn't have front teeth. My clothes were dirty. There wasn't a shower like Showering Love, the company I run today and created.
Right.
And this our second bus now, Showering Love's Loads of Love. It's a laundry bus. So that's why we're heading out. Because the community needs to clean some clothes that were in their houses that got,
Yeah.
ruined or damp. So we'll be out there. But here's what happened in a nutshell. I was able to get my mom's trailer, and I lived there for a while. And see, there would be spurts where I would stop and do good. And then one day, back out again. So I decided, okay, I've got to do something different. Oh, so then it ends up I'm under the bridge. And I'm living there, and I've given up all hope. I'm never gonna get my life back. I'm gonna die out here. And would my kids even know? And angry at God, angry at myself. How did I let myself get here? Not me. Not me. And I hear this a lot outside. Like something happens and then the spiral starts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, my husband divorced me. And then he got a restraining order for the kids because he didn't want me near the kids when I was high. So I didn't see my kids for 10 years. Every Mother's Day, I tried to commit suicide. Every Mother's Day. I couldn't take the pain. It just, my head wouldn't stop. Were they thinking of me? Did they remember what I looked like? Do they even care about me? And my head said a lot of, our brain lies to us and it lies for us because it's always in survival mode.
What was the event that happened to bring you to seek out help out of your situation? And
I love that.
how long a process was that? Because I know something happened. You're out there. You're giving up, and something happened. An event that brought you out of all this. Tell us about that.
So, great question. There was a pivotal moment, and let's see, there was a clear action of clarity. So I didn't know that that my son had been looking for me, my oldest son. Didn't know. But he had been. So he reached out to my estranged sister. We've never been close. Close with my brothers. And she delivers a letter that my son is mailed to her house. And she didn't open it. She brought it to me. And I'll share a little piece of that with you.
Sure.
It said, Mom, I don't even know where to begin with you. It's been so long. There's no hope for us ever having a relationship. He said, Mom, I see you're in and out of jail. I just wish you would change your life. He said, I don't know if you're aware, Mom, but you're a grandmother to 4 grandsons. I had no idea.
Right.
No idea. And that night, he ended that letter with saying to me, Mom, I'm tired of watching the obituaries. And I just wish it would be over already. I cried. I curled up in a fetal position and I cried all night. I just couldn't stop. And why was that? Because I know what pain is like. But I forgot what love felt like. And in that letter, knowing they had been looking for me and tracking me and,
Yeah.
following me, meant they did care. They were trying to survive this as well. They had, a PTA mom, a mom who was at every football game, baseball game. Like, I'm not going to say I was the perfect mom, but I was very much involved in my kid's life until all this happened. And then life,
Fell
it
apart.
changed to be something I never would have said would have happened to me.
Yeah.
Because my whole life, I've always been involved with the homeless. Always had a heart for the homeless. And I was in upstate New York. We were a bunch of ladies. We were helping feeding America, unloading tractor trailers. At the end of the day, walked up to the tractor trailer and I hear this voice tell me, take the tractor trailer, put showers on one side, washers and dryers on the other, put an ice machine in there, blankets, and a pantry. And I want you to go to the bridges and help them. So we're doing that now. In Miami, we go under a bridge where there's 200 people. Now, what makes us unique from any other shower? We're fully self-contained. What does that mean? It means that we house everything right on the bus. We have our own electric, we have our own fresh water and our own gray water tanks. um, on the bus. So it literally lets us meet the guests where they are physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually.
Jean, I want to back up a minute. What's your status with your kids now?
Oh, well, I got married 6 years ago, and
Ah,
my four sons walked me down the aisle and gave me away. Um,
that must have been nice.
I married an amazing man, amazing man. And I said, you know, the God of my understanding, I said, I'm never going back. Like I can't hold my head up after what I did at Davy. From being somebody, that was kind of somebody, and now I'm a low life drug addict. And boy, don't tell God you're not gonna do something, because I fall in love with Bob, my husband now, and he lives right dead center, and actually about 5 blocks from where I was born at.
Wow.
Yeah, so every Sunday when we go take the Harleys out, I go by the bridge and I see her. I still see her.
People still living under there.
No one's there.
No?
No. Uh, they made it so you couldn't sleep under there.
Oh. Well, I just want to tell our audience that in 2017, you founded Showering Love, and
It was 2016.
oh, 16. Okay.
Yeah, we founded June 23rd, 2016, but we unveiled August 31st, 2017.
Now,
And now we have two buses.
where you got that idea, to do the bus with the showers and everything. People want to know, I want to know, how did you make that happen?
Uh, it kind of just happened. Everybody thought I was crazy, and I have, a spiritual mentor and another business mentor to guide me, and they wanted me to go back to college. They wanted me to go to college, and that was the only way to go. And I fought them, and I'm like, no, like God told me to do this. Like now it's been 30 years ago. I have the pictures of the day I'm standing in front of that trailer that I get this vision for this.
Yeah.
So I'm about 3 years sober now, doing well, got a good job. I'm living the life on the beach, like I could have never. I've had many miracles in my life.
Yes. Yes.
And if we if my husband and I didn't meet or marry each other, because so we have 4 acres, so we're able to store the buses in the back, and also we have tractor trailers that hold all our inventory.
Okay, so these mentors put you in touch with somebody who.
No.
No. Okay, how did that happen?
So here's what happened. There were several people that knew I lived under the bridge. They knew me by name. They would bring me dinner. And there was this one special couple. They'd literally take me home and feed me good, let me watch TV, and then they take me back. and they would take me to a group meeting. And they did it faithfully, probably for about 6 weeks. And then I fell off the wagon and they said, okay, Jeannie, we can't do it anymore. Okay. No, we love you, but we can't do it. And I said,
Right.
I understand. So once I already had the project in my head and I knew what I wanted to do, but I had made a commitment that I would try to find as many people as I could that assisted me under the bridge to let them know that their kindness was a part of why I succeeded. Because I didn't do this on my own. By no means. It wasn't easy, but it's doable. And that's what I tell our guests. You know,
Yeah.
same thinking that God is there is not going to get us out. It's not. And for the first time, like I started like listening to people who really had my best interest at heart.
Yeah.
I did. And just doing things different this time because I knew it was weird because I didn't want to go back to the bridge, like I guess I don't know. But after I got that letter from my son, within 2 weeks, I started my journey to where I am today.
Right. And I want to
we're gonna keep going.
tell our audience, so the bus was retrofitted and it's ADA compliant. You named it Grace, I believe. Am I right?
Yeah, there's two.
Yeah, there's two now, but there was one then. I want you to just briefly describe the services Showering Love that you started provides now for the unhoused, and
Absolutely.
the area that you serve, and how do the people in West Palm, Broward, and Dade County in Florida, how do they know where the bus is going to be?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we go where we know they already are, right? So it most of the time it will be with a soup kitchen. Okay.
Okay.
They're going there to get a hot meal. Let's get them a shower. So something about Showering Love that's unique. Other than just that we're fully self-contained, is that we give every guest, every time they shower, they get a brand new outfit.
Ah.
We don't give out anything used. Now, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong. But what we feel, and so also just to let you in, 80% of our team have all been homeless 5+ years or more, and we were able to get them off the streets and then hired them.
How many showers so far, and how many guests do you think you've helped?
So I actually happen to know those numbers. So to date, we know that we have done 50,000 showers, and we have provided 70,000 services.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Can
And we
you-
don't get no support, like no support, no. And when we hire a grant company and, you know, what we hear from the grantors is, you know, it's great. They get to take a shower, but they don't have a home to go to. And I'm like, I get that. But until you can get them into housing, where are they supposed to shower? You know, and
And tell our audience your thought process. How did you come up with showering? What was the key motivation on that?
because
know,
it was the, well, one thing I believe that love is the one thing that connects us all.
Yeah,
Whether we're standing in, coming from, receiving from, or giving from love, right? It's the circle of love. Love comes in, love goes out, love comes in. So I'm when I thought of a name, it took me a while because it had to have the name love in it. And if you look at our logo, you'll see that the heart is open. The heart is open, and the ripple effect, right? So the subliminal message was, you know, when we open our hearts,
yeah, I see it.
it starts a ripple effect.
Okay, and a shower was the one thing
I
that these
couldn't
people really miss, right? I mean, they're on the street and a shower is like it's a big deal. It's something.
So right now, it's since COVID, so we can do 50 showers without having to dump and refill the tanks. We are at capacity right now. Yeah, it's so sad. I think, you know, there are so many benefits of a shower, you know,
Yeah.
health and wellness. Your your self-esteem is interwoven, or low self-esteem is interwoven into poor hygiene.
Okay,
Right?
gotcha. Yeah.
And then, so here they're living outside, they get cuts and they don't follow up with the doctor. They have wounds, right? They got to keep them wounds clean,
Right.
you know? And so we have a schedule and we come around. One, you know, we are like every Monday we're at the same place, every Tuesday, but
Okay.
they don't, most of them don't get a shower, but uh once a week. Now some of them will come, some will come for 2 or 3 times.
Well, we all know that taking a shower makes everybody feel a lot better when they get out of the
Right?
shower. You're clean, you know. I mean, you're invigorated, and
Yeah, you know, that's what we say. You
yeah,
know, it's like when I get out of here's my thing. So we have a barber on staff as well, right? You know, you get a shower, you get your hair done, you put on a nice new outfit,
yeah,
right? And you walk out, you got a little more pep in your step. I know I do. When I
yeah.
go get my hair done, you know, I'm happy. And I wish that somehow we could convey the message. Now we were able to get 2 veterans housed this month, and we got 2 ladies off the streets as well. Yeah.
So besides offering showers, you're also helping people get housing.
Yes, if we can get them placed, we find out that we take an intake, and then we know where, if they qualify for certain places. Or we know how to get them registered for placement.
Okay,
You know, we also we have a company that makes fresh lunches every day.
wow. Wow,
Every day. So, one day is turkey, one day is peanut butter and jelly, one day is chicken, one day is salami. And then it comes with cookies, chips, crackers, and others. Oh, there's always a fruit in a bag.
that's good.
Because they eat at the soup kitchen that we're partnering with, and that's for them to take for later on in the evening, because
Yeah.
there's no places open at night. There's one, but a lot of people can't get there.
What's the source of your funding? I think you mentioned corporate help, or you're mostly community funded?
It's the community. The community is our heartbeat. Like, we do fundraisers, all the time, and we've always met our goal. And yeah, I don't know.
The podcast starting today will be partnering with you by donating half of our sales profits from the purchases of our logo store podcast merchandise to Showering Love. We're going to do that for a month, and then we're going to see how it goes.
I love it. Thank you.
And we may extend it more, and we're going to use our social media to expand the public awareness of your efforts. And I'd like to ask you one more question. Well, a couple more, but what kind of advice do you have for those out there struggling with homelessness, or for the friends and family of people who are homeless? What advice do you have for them? How can they help?
Yeah, because it affects the whole family.
Right.
I got a call yesterday. I feel so bad for the young girl. She I guess she feels like she missed the signs, but her sister took her life yesterday. And yeah, and she just wished it would have didn't work. You can't beat yourself up. But if you or someone is either on the verge, or please reach out to us. Our phone number is 954-529-6098, and we'll do what we can. And a lot of times, it's once we hear a certain word, we say, okay, that person fits in over here. We know what the criterias are. But we can help you navigate the system, because it's not really an easy system to navigate. So
Okay.
We're here to help you.
Okay, we're gonna put that number out on the podcast notes. Again, how can people who want to contact your organization, how can they contact you? What's the easiest way?
Email.
Okay.
probably email, and the email address is contact@showeringlove.org. Again, contact@showeringlove.org.
Okay, we'll put that in the podcast notes as well. That's contact@showeringlove.org, and you have a website, showeringlove.org. www, I assume, showeringlove.org.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I want to thank you, Jeanne, for spending time with us and being brave to make your life an open book to help others in need and give others an insight into the body and soul of the homeless. You're truly doing the Lord's wish or the Lord's work, and I wish you all the best going forward. The podcast will always be here to help you out if needed. And thank you very much for being on the podcast with us.
Thank you so much for having me. Anyone really want to hear really more in depth? I've done a TED Talk. You might want to watch that as well.
Okay.
But thank you so much. Also, I want to put out an invitation right now. Anyone, Sharing Love's goal is to see buses or a bus in your city, your town, your state. Here's what we're offering, because we want to fill the need as well. Our team has offered our knowledge, our wisdom, and the know-how to bring these buses to fruition. It's really not as hard as you think it is. The first one, it took us 11 months to build it. The second bus took us a month.
Wow.
Yeah. So I wish I had pictures of the here. You know what? I'm gonna hold.
Well, we'll show pictures on our Facebook group. And that was one of the questions I didn't get to ask you, but yeah, Jeanne is her organization is offering every other group out there throughout the United States and the world, whoever wants to duplicate this in their area. So it's not that Jeanne is just concentrating on South Florida. She's concentrating on the whole world, which is awesome. Thank you once again. And comments and suggestions for the podcast, you can email me at itsawrapwithrap@gmail.com. Our website is itsawrapwithrap.com. Our Facebook group is It's a Rap with Rap. We're on Instagram, It's a Rap with Rap podcast, and all the episodes are on YouTube. It's a Rap with Rap, the podcast uncut. I want to thank everyone for listening. Please stay safe. And for now, it's a wrap.